What is important in the life of a child is not the presence of the physical mother or the biological parents. It is the quality of care that the child experiences. It is when the quality of care is not adequate that this kind of problems come in. And that is why only a mother knows the true biological father of their children. So, but what is more important is the social father, somebody that will be there for you emotionally and physically. So many people that have lost their parents much early in life is a significant loss, but it becomes more critical if there was nobody to play the mother role. If there was somebody to play the mother role, then they will not actually miss, this aspect of their development.
I mean, we've got to have another show completely about that. I mean, so you are nodding there because what you just said here is so important. I remember you telling me your story once. So many people, here we value having children.
Yeah.
And people have children. I know some young friend of mine was telling me recently that I've just discovered 3 brothers on Facebook. I didn't know that my father had. So she didn't. It just goes to show me there are people who have God knows how many children all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's not about sharing children or having children. It's about nurturing children.
Yeah.
We've got to have other shows about true parenting. What parenting really is. Sometimes parents are present, but they are absent. And what it does to the children as we go forward. And the children grow up to become society. They grow up to become our leaders. And sometimes you wonder why people behave the way that they do. Look, I keep calling you Professor. Thank you. We've got to move on to the next next letter.
Okay.
And the next letter is from a young man. I found this letter very, very interesting, and I thank him for coming forward. Okay. He said, "Hello, Funmi. I saw your program for the first time, and the topic was wife battering. I was touched. I cried. This is not because I am a victim, but I am a culprit. That very week, I had a quarrel with my girlfriend, and I ended up beating her. The beating was so severe, and I regretted every bit of the action. Honestly, I love this girl so much to the extent of wanting to marry her. Now she's badly hurt, and I don't know what to do to either make her forgive me or avoid future occurrences, either with her or someone else. Funmi, I need help in this direction."
Okay. That's another interesting letter. In that situation, I think the information the young man provided is not adequate enough to analyze the case. You should have told us what the lady did before he beat her up. Then from there we can now know whether there is any justifiable reason to go to that extent. I'm one of those who believe that wife battery or friend battery is out of any relationship.
There's no
justification for that, because we are not beasts. We are human beings. So if it gets to that extent where it could begin to be physically aggressive, then it doesn't worth it. Many people have killed one another because they couldn't control their anger. It could be one blow and the person slumps and there is nothing you can do about it. That's that. But be it as it may, the issue there is that the young man is pointing to a direction of having poor impulse control. He's also telling us about his aggressive tendencies and also pointing out to the ambivalence of the love he has for that lady and some other undisclosed reasons. That
what is it? Is it more nurturing our environment? The fact that we're tolerant about it, the fact that there are many stress factors and people think think authority and aggression are pari passu, or is it a deeper psychological issue from childhood? What is it, doctor? Tell us.
See, what you see people do when they are frustrated is to displace their anger. And I think it was Shakespeare who said, "He who fights where he knows that he'll be destroyed is worse than an imbecile." So people don't go to fight where they know they will be destroyed. So they have to look for, a safer object to displace that aggression. And that is why somebody can be upset in the office. He goes home and begin to, displace the anger or aggression, on the wife, or when a husband now, displaces his own aggression on the wife now takes it on the maid. So the trend is that people normally it's natural.
They look lower.
They look for more safer ways.
The maid will be the children.
You get a point. So these are the ways it goes. You get a point. But if you look at what happens in an environment in terms of relationship, I see that the society has not protected the weaker sexes, enough. And when you look at it naturally, it was because of this weakness that even the issue of governance came in. When the most powerful were oppressing, the less powerful. And the less, okay, let us surrender our powers to you. And you now use these powers to protect us.
Yeah.
So those who are supposed to protect the weaker members of the society are not protecting them enough. And because of the culture of conspiracy, people don't say out. I've had cases when I was doing some project with some human rights organization. People that were raped, people that were battered, they were given free legal services. At the point when the person is to be sentenced, they now decided to withdraw the case because people put pressures on them.
Family,
Their friends, family, religious, bodies. So when you begin to see that many people don't report what they go through, they keep it to themselves, and that's why you see people breaking down without knowing why. But within themselves, they know that they have been carrying a lot of burdens, and they have gotten to a point where they cannot carry it, so they have to offload it, and they free their mind. And that's why if you come to a place like psychiatric hospitals, and you see patients talk, most of the things they talk, they may sound irrelevant to the non-professional, but be it a delusional, statement or a hallucinatory kind of comment, if you look at it, it's not coming from the space. There are certain bases, though it may be exaggerated, but you pick it from there, and then when you now go deep, you now be able to find out where is this individual coming from. So in as much as that is concerned, people will always get on those they can suppress.
Right. What do you think this young man can do to help himself? Because it sounds like somebody who really... and I'm happy to find people who want to do something for themselves.
It's most likely going to, one, either have problem with impulse control or have an aggressive kind of personality, or he is not really interested or committed to that relationship. At one point, he wants to do away with the relationship. At another point, he wants to keep the relationship. But for his own interest, he has a problem. He can't continue to act before thinking, because people who are impulsive are people who act before they think. So people who think before they act, when they consider the implications of their actions and they see that it is not to their own advantage, then they tend to choose alternative ways, of reacting. So he has to also be able to see a professional that can evaluate him to find out what is the problem with him. Because you can't solve a problem you don't know. He himself doesn't know why. And the information he has given is not enough to explain why he's doing. So we're just giving probabilities that maybe it's because of this, but he has a problem with himself.